If you clicked on this video, then you're trying to figure out what your hair type is. It is very important to know what your hair type is so that you can know what products you need to use and how you can maintain and grow your hair. In this video, overall, I will be covering how to determine density of your hair, how to determine if it's low porosity, high porosity, medium porosity, and the actual hair type of your hair, which will be like 1A, 2A, 3C, 3B, whatever the case may be. And before I do that, I just want to say that everybody's eye is a different eye. So you may look at your hair differently than someone else would. So I feel like there's never really no right or wrong answer because everybody's eye is different. So now I'm going to help you determine what your hair type is. So starting off with hair types, we're going to start with 1A. 1A would look like this, which is strictly bone straight, no curls, no waves, no nothing. Moving on to 1B, it would be like a slight bend, but no curl or waves. And then going on to 1C, you can start to see a little wave forming. This is an example of 1C. Moving on to 2A, this is what 2A hair looks like. And this is where you can actually start seeing the waves form. Then we move on to 2C, which is like a slight curl and wave at the same time. Then moving on to 3A, this is an example of 3A hair, which you start seeing that spiral curl, but it's not tight. It's like a loose curl. Then moving on to 3B, you start seeing that curl form even more. So it's kind of like a consistent curl. Moving on to 3C, which is what I feel like I have. And the hair is really, really curly, but not necessarily a tight curl. Now moving on to 4A. 4A would look like this. So you're starting to see the coils and the kinky. This is when you have a more tighter curl. Now 4B looks like this. And this is when the curls are actually really, really tight. And you actually have to pull down your hair to see the full curl because it does have a lot of shrinkage. And moving on to the last hair type, which would look like this. This hair type has the most coils, so you can't necessarily see the curls because they're super, super tight. But if you pull down the curl, you can actually see the curls, but it is a really, 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 really tight curl, which is a tighter curl than 4B and 4A. And like I said, I feel like I'm more in between a 3C and a 4A. My hair is not necessarily a tight curl, but it's not necessarily a loose curl. So it's like kind of in the middle. Also, over time, your hair types can change based on age, medications, hormones, and things like that. So you can always go back and determine what hair type you are because it will probably consistently change, of course, over the years. Now, moving on to figure out what your hair density is, I feel like this is fairly easy to determine. If you can see your scalp fully, you definitely have a low density type. If you can't really see your scalp, but you still can see your scalp, then that's more so medium density. Now, if you can't see your scalp at all, then that probably means that you are high density. I feel like I am medium density just because it's not fully bald when I part my hair, and it also isn't like fully closed when I part my hair. So I feel like it's more medium density. Now, the way that you can actually determine this is just by simply parting your hair. I already have my hair parted, and as you can tell, I'm not completely bald at the scalp, but it's also not completely full at the scalp, which means that I'm more so medium density. Now, moving on to porosity, which I feel like is most important because this is actually going to help you determine what hair products you need to use for your hair. For example, low porosity hair means that your hair does not soak up any moisture, meaning that it doesn't matter how much water you put in your hair is just simply not soaking it up. It's literally just sitting on top of your hair. Now, moving on to high porosity, this is when your hair soaks up a lot of water, but it also dries very quickly. And last but not least, which is medium, which is a mixture of low porosity and high porosity, meaning that you have the best porosity hair. And I feel like I do have medium porosity hair because my hair doesn't soak up too much water, and then it also isn't to the point where it doesn't soak up water at all. So I feel like it's kind of a medium balance to the point where my hair can hold water, but it also doesn't dry very quickly. And an easy way to determine the porosity of your hair is by simply grabbing a spray bottle to see if it's not soaking up water at all or if it is soaking up water a lot and drying quickly, just to help you determine what the porosity of your hair is. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. Also, don't forget to subscribe, and also share this video with someone that you feel like needs to know what their hair type is, or they simply have just been wondering what their hair type is and they kind of don't know where to look or where to go to figure that out. This concludes the video. I hope this gave you a great idea of what your hair type may be and what you think it may be. But once again, everybody's eye is different, so you may see your hair type differently than someone else. Also, if you haven't checked out my last video, which is how to do your edges and never struggle doing your edges again, be sure to check that out. I'll also link it up here. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
I just enjoy your sense of humor.